Today on the Crit House, Keron Psillas and her 5 images from Leone, Sam Abel, Leia Kuznetsova, Penty Salati, and Irving Penn. Hey everybody, welcome to the Crit House. I'm Jeff Larson, and today we are introducing Keron Psillas, a photographer, a writer, an instructor, and for some, a mentor. Hailing from the picturesque landscapes of West Virginia, Keron shares her expertise through engaging photography courses and specialized equine photo workshops. Her passion for photography is further enriched by her collaborative experiences, having worked closely with renowned photo legends such as Sam Abell and Arthur Meyerson. Keron, welcome to the Crit House.
Jeff, thank you so much. And a lovely introduction. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
happy to be here and excited.
Yeah, I am too. It's been we've been talking about this for a while, and it's nice that it's finally come to pass. You came to us with a very high recommendation from that one of those gentlemen I just mentioned, from Sam Abell, who you work with fairly closely. And I tell you what, if in my world, if Sam Abell makes a recommendation for a person, that's a pretty good recommendation. So
Yeah, the E.F. Hutton of photography. I'm dating myself. Of course, I'm grateful to Sam for that and for so many things, particularly for his vision and for the conversation that he fosters about photography. It's been pivotal in my life, and I know in so many other students as well. So thank you. And thank you for featuring Sam as the first guest and allowing others to hear the wisdom that resides there.
But could not have been a better guest for the
Yeah.
show. So, but let's talk about you. So how do you talk about yourself as a photographer or an artist? I mean, what when somebody asks you what you do, what do you do? What do you say?
It's a hyphenated kind of thing. I'm a photographer. I am an author. I'm a mentor and an instructor. All of those things. I have a really another really close friend that scolds me when I say that, and he says to me, "Keron, you're just an artist." And I'm like, we photographers have this like little backup reaction when people say that, but I guess it's true. I guess it's true. I am mostly a seeker, seeking images, seeking connection, seeking how to portray my experience in life, but something more universal as well, trying to reveal, even through my horse work, what is the essence of what I'm engaged with.
Well, so you have been given this task of choosing on 5 images to talk about how it affected your growth as an artist or as a photographer. What did you go through in making that decision on 5 images?
What I went, what I kept returning to were the thoughts of, what do I think about daily? What do I think about when I need inspiration? What do I think about when I'm in those quiet moments, don't have the camera in my hand, and think about, what do I need to understand in a deeper way? And certainly images that took my breath away.
So you are starting with the book, Frederick, which I was so happy to see. I read this to my son hundreds of times when he was young.
Isn't it just the most lovely thing?
It is.
I mean, yes, okay, it's a Caldecott Award winner. The illustrations are just sublime, but the message is so important. And I am a middle child of 3 children, and I grew up on a gentleman's farm in West Virginia, if you will, 40 acres or so. And I was the kid that wanted to be outside, alone, just doing my thing, but also in certain ways, as all children are, insecure. But reading the Frederick book was really powerful for me, and in a very quiet way saying, It's okay to be the way you are, and there is value in it. And so I talk about things that rise up all the time.
Your second image comes from Sam Abel, and you said this is an owl?
That is an owl, yes. Um, you know, I mean, how do we pick one image from Sam? I don't
Very
know.
hard.
I
Yeah.
picked this one because, once again, it has stayed with me, but I could give you examples of 50 more. This image to me has always spoken of eternity, of things that are and will always be and have always been. That's intriguing to me. It speaks to me of perfection being the enemy of what is true and what is real. And um, you know, some people would say, oh my gosh, the owl's not in focus, or it's this or it's that. And it's absurd. This is a moment in time that I feel is or could be and a moment of eternity. It's muted, it's simple. Simple doesn't mean that it doesn't have weight. It simple doesn't mean that it isn't continually engaging. It's just there are three elements: the sky, the ground in front of us, and the owl. And we can put ourselves there. And I think for that reason, the intimacy that is portrayed here in the face of eternity, I mean, those two thoughts don't often go together, eternity, intimacy. They seem like they should be far away, but they're not here. This is an intimate meeting with eternity. And I love this image because of that.
So this is a photographer that I was not familiar with. In fact, there are two photographers you're showing today that I wasn't familiar with before.
Mhm.
And I'm going to ask you to do the pronunciation because I will just make a mistake of it.
Happy to. And I'm sure mine's not going to be perfect, but this is a photograph from Leia Kuznetsova. She is a, well, in Russia, very well-known photographer, known to me because of an odd set of circumstances. I got to meet her in 1991 at the Corcoran Gallery of Art, a show that was being held in honor of the publication of a book titled Changing Reality, Soviet Photography.
Mm.
And Leah Ben David Val was the editor of that book and the author as well. So much here. Go
So
ahead.
you were just I have that book.
Oh, very good.
Because it's I don't buy a lot of books. It's not down here, otherwise I would have run and gotten it. But
Mhm.
that show was on display some time ago here in at the Worcester Museum of Art, and I went to
Mhm.
see it.
Mhm.
And I bought the book as part as that show. I don't remember, was this image in that book? I don't remember
Um,
this image.
yes,
Was it?
I believe that it is. And another of a young man holding a dove, much more of a close-up, and some other work. But yes, this image is in the book. At
I,
least memory tells me that it is. She spent more than, oh gosh, 15 years photographing the Roma and Sinti peoples through the steppes of Russia. And what that taught me then, that if you want to do really good work, work that comes from your soul, you better spend a lot of years doing it. And you
yeah.
really need to know who, what, why you're photographing. And so yeah, that's the lesson that I took away from all of her work, in addition to its aesthetics. I mean, it's just, it's incredible.
So another one that I will ask you to do the pronunciation. I can do Penty.
Very good. Penty Salati. Yeah.
This is
Is-
just this is you can feel the cold in this. You
Yes.
could just feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it. And I just came, well, as I said, Estonia, via Finland, via
Oh,
Helsinki. And yeah, I photographed a lot of landscapes that looked like this just in the last couple of days. And it was a tremendous pleasure. There's something that just really resonates with me about it. And something of this photograph speaks to me of timelessness and an inability to put a time period on a photograph. And I like that very much
yeah.
because when we take away those obvious markers for, oh, this was a photograph in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
or this was the 70s in Studio 54 or something like that. We take that away, then we're left with how we resonate with the human experience of that time. And I see most of Penty's work in that way. And this image, I should say, was one out of 150 or so in a book that I revere titled Here Far Away. And what can I say? I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous.
Well, I'll go back to what I was saying a second ago. This is another one of those images that I'm just so happy to have it in front of me while you're talking about it and looking at it and being and being introduced to a new photographer that I hadn't seen before, but also an image that I have not seen. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this. Again, you just feel the cold.
Yeah. Well, you have a feast ahead of you because there Here Far Away is a beautifully produced book. It's a beautifully edited book. And recently he published a book titled Mi Kaksi. It's not in our language, so it seems odd to us, but it means we too, TWO. And every image in it is somehow there are two of everything or two things in conversation with another. And it's a very different book from Here Far Away because it is humorous throughout nearly the entire book. And that's hard to do as a photographer. Humorous, but really intelligent, really, really astute, but very humorous. So
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing more of it. I know humor is a challenge to do with photography. I've never been able to accomplish that myself. And then we wrap up with Irving Penn.
yeah, this was, again, long before I thought about even holding a camera in my hand. I think this was 80 or 81. I picked up this book because I have a lifelong love of flowers and of gardening. And there are numerous photographs throughout the book that speak directly to the gesture that is present, not just in a flower, but present in all things. But this book showed me that very, very succinctly. We all, as photographers, understand the concept of wabi-sabi. There are many flowers throughout the book that are in a decaying stage, and I appreciated that. But the through line here is that today, one of the projects that I'm spending time with when I'm not photographing in Eastern Europe has to do with flowers. And nothing at all like Mr. Penn has done, but we stand on the shoulders of all the giants that came before. And when we look back and see where those lines come from, two things happen, I think. We become more affirmed in our work and we become more humble. And those two things are really important to working artists. And so, yeah, I appreciate this book just for that.
Well, Keron Psillas, I see now why you came so highly recommended by Mr. Sam Abel to participate here on the Crit House. It's
Thank you.
You speak well of photography and your appreciation for it, and it's been great learning more not only about you but the photographers that you've been talking about as well.
Jeff, thank you so much, and keep going. I'm keen to see all the rest of the interview. So thank you very much for the work that you're doing.
Well, thanks so much, and thank you all for watching the Crit House.